What's up guys, Riley here from RP Productions, and today we're going to be installing some color changing daytime running lights on my 2016 Dodge Charger Scat Pack. Now these running lights are from Diode Dynamics, and I'll go ahead and show you what they look like now. So here's how they come when you order your lights from Diode Dynamics. You can also get an optional RGBW controller, LED controller. But here is how everything is nicely packaged in here. If we can open it up, you know, lots of wires as you can see. Here's the motherboards themselves, and you know, everything you need they pretty much, you know, include. So you shouldn't really need anything else other than what they include with the kit. So we're gonna go ahead and get to installing. I'm over here at ModFX, and so let's go ahead and get this install started. Before I get this installation video started, I want to give a huge shout out to ModFX Customs on the north side of Houston. You can email them at sales@modfxcustoms.com. They can take care of your custom lighting needs or all of this stuff on the back of this business card right here. They do just about everything. Mostly they deal with Mopar stuff, but they do a lot of other stuff as well. So huge shout out to them. Go hit them up, tell them RP Productions sent you. Really knowledgeable people, and they can hook you up with some really clean installs. So to begin this installation, of course, you have to remove the front bumper cover. Now there's some little screws and some tabs on top. There's some screws underneath the bumper. You're gonna have to turn your wheel both ways to get in here where the fender screws are. I believe there's 2 or 3 screws in here where the fender is located. So you want to unscrew all of those, you know, kind of self-explanatory, but it can be kind of a pain to get to these right here in the fender. But hopefully the video will help you out with locating those and the method of getting those out. Once you got the front bumper off, you'll then remove the headlights via the 4 screws located pretty much on every corner, and they just slide right out. Unplug them and put them aside. The first step on the headlights is to remove these plastic plates there for mounting purposes, and then after you get these off, you'll go ahead and begin the painstaking process of breaking the headlights apart. Now there's 2 ways you can do this. 1, the heat gun method like we're doing here, or 2, you could throw these in an oven for I believe like 9 minutes. I can't remember the temperature, but you can do your own research on that. You could do that way, or you could do what we're doing here, which is the heat gun and then a prying method. We just used a flathead screwdriver, but you could also use some other type of pry tool. You know, after you get these broken apart, that's when you'll go back and take your time kind of cleaning up everything and making sure the plastic is going to give you a nice proper seal and fitment when you reseal the whole entire housing. Once you have the lens broken apart, you're gonna go ahead and take off part of the housing, remove those 4 screws, it just kind of slides right off. And then at this part, you'll start removing the little motherboards. Now Diode Dynamics has a very good installation video of how to remove these and change them out with the color changing ones. So you can go check out their video. Pretty much if you type in Diode Dynamics running light installation video Dodge Charger, it'll pop up on YouTube, and this is what they look like. You know, this is kind of a very generic installation process of that part, but their video will explain it a little bit more in depth. Pretty simple to do though, really self-explanatory. It's all this other stuff that can be a little bit complicated. It's all the stuff they don't show that can be a pain. For example, right here, having to drill a hole in the bottom so you can get the wires to go out, and then after you drill this hole, just big enough for the wires to fit out, you'll then want to go ahead and plug it up with some type of goo or silicone or whatever method you want to use, and then, you know, make sure that's obviously a clean seal and no water will get in. This right here is probably the most time-consuming process of this entire installation. You want to make sure you scrape off all of that excess glue. That way you don't have any leftovers and you get a clean seal back. Using the provided wires and resistors, I believe, you're gonna go ahead and mount these to the car. You know, this is just straight out of the box, just screwing them into the car. You can pretty much pick any location you want. In our case, we put them right here, pretty much behind that little shielding for the radiator, and this is what it will go ahead and look like. So you can, you know, try to copy. We also use some 3M double-sided tape to stick a couple pieces on there. But you know, it's kind of hard to explain. I'm not the best with wiring and stuff like this, but the video hopefully will help you out And obviously you're gonna have one side going towards the fuse box. On the other side, we went ahead and mounted ours as if we were doing a Hellcat, or at least pretty similar. Mounted it in the little brake duct, and this is how the driver's side looks. You will then use the provided extension and solder that to the driver's side wires that are already there, put some heat shrink tubing around it to make it all look clean, and then run that long extension over towards the passenger side close to the fuse box, where you will then connect it to the passenger side running light wires. Once you get that long extension over to the driver's side, you will then pretty much connect all of the wires, green to green, red to red, blue to blue, etc., and have this big old cluster of wires, which you will then connect into the receiver. Now, one thing we did slightly different for longevity reasons is we went ahead and attached the positive with a fuse, so if we ever have any problems with the lights, it should just blow that fuse and nothing else. We also attached a ground right underneath the fuse box. We scraped off a little paint, as you can see there, so we get a proper connection. So we have ground and positive. With that ground and positive, you're gonna go ahead and attach that to the receiver box. Go ahead and mount your receiver box right here, kind of on the fender well, out of the way. Place it down with some 3M double-sided tape that's provided, and boom, there you go. So now it looks something like this. You have all the wires running into one side of the receiver box, which we went ahead and cleaned up a little bit later with some heat shrink tubing, and then, you know, the positive and the ground running towards the fuse box area. Before you seal the headlights up, now would be a really good time to check and make sure all the wiring is correct. Go ahead and, you know, test every color out, make sure there's no defects in the wiring. Test both sides, of course, and then you'll go ahead and seal the headlights back up. To seal the headlights back up, we use some silicone and, you know, apply that silicone, kind of warm it up a little bit, and then we clamped it down for about 40 minutes with, you know, pretty strong pressure. That way we have a really tight seal and we shouldn't have any problems with condensation. After your headlights have been sitting for about 40 minutes and, you know, they feel dry to you, you'll then go ahead and install them back in the car, you know, pretty much plugging everything back in the way you took it out. You know, pretty self-explanatory from this point on. You're just basically screwing a bunch of screws in, and then obviously you'll reinstall the bumper cover as well. Before you throw the bumper cover back on, you'll want to go ahead and make sure all the lights work properly, all the colors work, every function is correct, you know, just for double checking purposes. And now at this point, your installation is complete. I will have a video coming out very soon with the full in-depth review of the lights themselves, but hopefully this installation video helped you guys out just a little bit. So thank you guys for watching. I will see you on the next one. Take it easy.